confused, gender non-specific individual. Even though I know most of you watching are men, I have a good view of my analytics. Would you like to know more about human anatomy and physiology? No? Well, too bad. Sorry. Too bad. I myself have retaken multiple science courses throughout my educational record. It's not my strong suit. This is not my strong suit either. But we're both going to learn together. With Holes, that's an unfortunate last name. Holes, Holes, Essentials of Human Anatomy and Physiology, High School Edition, because I've committed theft. Not really, more so I forgot to turn this back in. I wonder what 2005-year-old, like 2005 born child didn't graduate because of me, and because this isn't mine. I didn't take it from someone, but our physiology professor wow, I've been in college too long. Our physiology teacher told us, just leave your books in the classroom, know which one is yours, and there would never ever be a mix-up because students forget to put their name on it. I had my name in mine, but this one had no name, but it was where I left mine, and so throughout the whole semester I used it. And then when it came time to turn in textbooks, I read that all of mine had been turned in, and I didn't know that I still had mine. I assumed my teacher had turned them in because, she, that's the reason that she wanted us to keep it in there, so we wouldn't lose it. So I assumed that it went in with her pile. And then when I get home, I look at my pile of books, and I find this bad boy, and I'm like, oh shit. But if mine had been turned in, then whose is it? Let's find out, actually. Elia. If you didn't graduate, I am so sorry. You can sue me. No, you can't. I will fight back. I'm broke. I don't have any legal representation. Anyways, let's continue. Video idea. What was it? Human anatomy and physiology. Don't know what to give about these people. Asses. Can we please find okay, nobody give a fuck. Okay. Where's the table of continents? Where's that? Because I would like to pick randomly at the table of continents. Oh, here we go. This is not fun. I'm gonna close my eyes and just go like this. And the choice is mine. Blood cells. Do people want to know about blood cells? Let's find out. Chapter 12. $362. $362. I'm only gonna do maybe up to 8 minutes of this because I really could care less. I didn't give a fuck when I was taking the class. What makes you guys think that I'm gonna give a fuck now? As a college student majoring in English and theater. See, that's the problem. There's not enough doctors. There's enough people trying to be the next Patty Lupone because the bitch done got herself canceled again. It could be me though. I already got the name. It's gonna be Gladys Lupone. Me and her look so similar. Anyways, I'm skipping by the page. I'm just yapping it up. But that's okay, you know? We got it. Okay. 5 minutes have been recorded and nothing regarding this has actually come about. Okay. Blood. Universal precautions. Blood can contain more than cells, nutrients, proteins, and water. A single drop from an infected individual can harbor billions of viruses. In the wake of the AIDS epidemic in 1988, the U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, devised universal precautions, which are specific measures that healthcare workers should take into consideration, should take to prevent transmission of blood-borne infectious agents in the workplace. The term universal refers to the assumption that any patient may have been exposed to a pathogen that can be transmitted in a body fluid. Pathogen, I'm just going to assume, means sick. Denzel, if you are watching, that's why you're the doctor. Denzel is one of my viewers, you guys. You have probably seen Denzel in my comments. Denzel, I'm going to be dissed because of this. I don't know shit about anything. Anyways, let's keep reading. Attention to safety in the healthcare setting can prevent transmission of infectious diseases. The World Health Organization estimates that 4% to 7% of new infections worldwide are transmitted via safe injections. Specific recommendations include 1. Use of personal protective equipment such as gloves, goggles, and masks. 2. Engineering controls such as fume hoods and sharp containers. And 3. Work practice controls such as hand washing before and after performing procedures. That one is very important. A lot of you be digging in your butt and not washing your fucking hands and then handing me my fucking cash back. Like, what is with you? I was really sick during my run of Evita. And you know damn well I was not only washing my hands, but also hand sanitizing. Constantly. No. And again, a lot of you be digging in your butt, in your ass. And then handing people shit. Like, that's nasty. Wash your hands. And if you want to be like, oh, I'm sick, I don't need to wash my hands after I go to the bathroom every time. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Okay, anyways, as I was saying. Oh, here, this one's interesting. Universal precautions were designed for and work well in preventing transmission of viral illnesses in settings already relatively safe, such as clinics. This isn't the case for outbreaks, natural disasters, and combat zones. For example, in 2014, the epidemic of the Ebola virus, EBD, struck West Africa, sickening and killing thousands. That's very depressing. That's not the interesting part. I believe the interesting part is nothing. Wait, then why is this an example? I thought I was gonna learn something. Hold on, preventing transmission of virus. Well, no shit. In already relatively safe environments such as a clinic, you know, a doctor's office where everything is sterilized and sterile. That's not the right word. Well, sterile. Whatever, because I know that sterile also means can't have children, but I've heard sterile being used in the context of being extremely clean. I could be wrong. I could be so wrong. I probably am wrong. Anyways, but no shit, in a controlled environment such as a clinic, it's going to be less of a risk of, you know, spreading diseases, and not in the case of there being literal outbreaks or just places that it's just a bunch of people freaking the fuck out. This is the shit that they had me reading and wonder why I fail. You should actually get up and teach instead of handing them a freaking packet, yo. Anyways, introduction, boring. There's too much math here. Let's actually try reading. Blood signifies life, and for good reason. Many vital functions. The blood, heart. Wow. The blood, heart, and blood vessels form the cardiovascular system and link the body's internal and external environments. Blood is a type of connective tissue whose cells are suspended in liquid extracellular matrix. Because I know what that is. Blood contributes to homeostasis by carrying to body cells substances such as nutrients from the digestive system and oxygen from the lungs. All I'm going to say is this is why you don't do edibles. That shit, let me put it in terms that I can somewhat understand. So when you take an edible, that shit, when you digest it, someone correct me if I'm wrong, but that actually starts to get into your fucking bloodstream and stays there longer than when, you know, the THC starts affecting your blood when you smoke it. That shit's temporary. Well, I mean, it's temporary the other way around, but that's why a high will last longer with edibles. I'm so smart. Anyways, I'm not acting stupid, by the way. I just genuinely don't know anything about anything, and I'm really trying to add my own input. Anyways, whole blood is slightly heavy. Oh, we skipped a bunch. Anyways, blood is a type of connective tissue whose cells are suspended in. Okay, I already read that bullshit. It also carries substances such as carbon dioxide and metabolic waste that are destined for removal of the body. If my sisters could stop making sounds like they're in the fucking jungle or the forest, that would be just so lovely. Anyways, so what does it do with the THC? I just want to know how that works. That's the science that I'm very interested in. Anyways, whole blood is slightly heavier. What the fuck is whole blood? Like whole blood? Then what the fuck is half blood? Okay. 4 times more vicious than water. Its cells form in red bone marrow. They include red blood cells that transport gases and white blood cells that fight disease. So I do believe that me doing the both hand washing and hand sanitizer, but mostly hand sanitizer during my run of Vita was actually quite counterproductive because I was just killing my white blood cells in that way. I heard something like that. That using too much hand sanitizer affects the things in your body. Antibodies, right? That's what, is that what that is? I don't know. Not the blood cells, but something. It affects something in your body, and I don't know if it has anything to do with the blood cells. I'm just yapping. I'm so sorry. This is not an educational video. But it affects something that helps fight off diseases, which is why using hand sanitizer and not just washing your hands is actually very counterproductive, especially when you overuse it. And I believe you could overuse it. Blood also contains cellular fragments called blood paletas, blood platelets, plátanos, platanitos. Anyways, that help control blood loss. Together, the cells and platelets are termed formed elements of the blood. This liquid portion is called plasma. Blood composition, a mixture formed of some bullshit I don't even know about. Let me show you this paragraph, this diagram. Please don't fall, beautiful macaroni. My macaroni and no cheese on mine. Sangre, blood. Formed elements, which include platelets, which we just talked about, red blood cells, white blood cells, and plasma includes electrolytes, water, proteins, waste, nutrients, and gases. So do these things get teleported? Wow, transported through the plasma because of the plasma? I believe so. I also feel like I just read that fucking sentence in this book and I'm just being really dumb. But formed elements, platelets, red blood cells, white blood cells, that's what forms the blood, like part of the blood, let's look at this like a polycule. So there's like the main three, and then these are the other bitches that joined in, like, because one of the three wanted them to or whatever, but like these were the main three. This is the big three. I'd be talking about polycules way too much. I just find the concept of it so funny. But they get the last laugh because they ain't gotta worry about rent. Anyways, as I was saying. So again, main three. They made this home. And then these, they were just brought in. They don't even know who of the three invited them into the thing. And then these things have these things that I have no idea what this is. I'm gonna even try to read it. Okay, I'm gonna try to read it. With the white blood cells, neutrophils, eosinophils, basophils, monocytes, lymphocytes, albumins. Okay, with the proteins, albumins, globulins, fibrinogen, and with the gases, N2O, oxygen and carbon dioxide, nitrogen. I believe that's nitrogen. I am so sorry. Guys, please, I'm not stopping this video. Okay, I need a better recording setup. Not this bullshit. Okay, what the hell is a hemoglobin? Is that a type of protein? Or am I just lost? I thought I was gonna take notes on this shit. It's not really notes, it's more so questions or just, you know, a to-do list. Okay, oh great, this pen isn't working. Look up hemoglobin. The most familiar I am with the word hemoglobin was because I used to play on my DS Bowser's Inside Story. I think that's what it was called, and essentially Bowser vores Mario and Luigi, and you enter his fucked up ass body, and I think I don't know if you would interact or teleport or save your progress via the hemoglobin in his body, because you were in that man's body. But I just know that the word hemoglobin was just tossed around in that game, and he had all these little fucking antibodies or whatever the fuck. What was he? I'm forgetting, but I know that was a game, and no one's gonna tell me that that wasn't a game, because it definitely was a game. One that I only got to play when my cousin wasn't around because it was her game, but I would like take it so I could play it on my DSi XL. Yeah, okay. Anyways, let's continue. Interesting. Oh, the liver. The liver is the thing that cleans out the body, right? Like, that's the function of the liver. That's why, like, if your liver dies, you're fucked. Anyway, let's read. Low blood oxygen causes the kidneys and, to a lesser degree, the liver to release erythropoietin. I'm not even going to try to read that. It controls the rate of red blood cell formation through negative feedback. Okay. It stimulates target cells in the red bone marrow to increase the production of red blood cells which carry oxygen tissues. Oh. Wait, So is that a good or bad thing? Like, should your fucking blood oxygen just be low? No, because you can't have, your red blood cell count can't be off at all. So it's low. I don't know. I'm confused. Let's see another page here. Let's see if I can explain that. This is probably gonna end in a bit. I don't know how the fuck I've even been allowed to record for 20 minutes. Anyways, leukemia. How does that work? Wait, what the fuck even causes leukemia? Okay. When the 23-year-old had a routine physical examination, she expected reassurance that her healthy lifestyle had indeed been keeping her healthy. After all, she felt great. What she got a few days later was a shock. Instead of having 3,500 to 10,500 white cells per microliter of blood, she had more than 10 times that number. And many of the cells were cancerous. Okay, so that's confusing. So she had more white blood cells and they were cancerous. So is leukemia having more white blood cells? Because then why would they put afterwards? See, I'm now cherry picking the wording of this damn textbook. Okay, because then it says and many of them were cancerous. So is having white blood cells in of itself its own problem and sometimes nothing to do with leukemia, or does having it just automatically mean the cells are going to be cancerous? Clear that up. Whole, whatever your name is, Whole's essential. That's still that's worse than the last name Gaylord. Anyway, her red bone marrow was flooding her circulation with too many granulocytes. Right, because I know what that is. Most of them poorly differentiated. I'd probably know what that is if I actually read the book. I'm actually gonna stop this here because I've just been yapping away and nothing has actually come about this fucking video. Let's actually talk about something I know. Next video is gonna be on Stephen Sondheim.